everybody. I'm Audrey Moore with the Audrey Helps Actors podcast, and this is episode 120. 120, hoping to give you plenty of excitement and enthusiasm and energy like that venti latte that you love so much that gently gives you enough energy to keep going, loving this life and loving this career, hopefully. Hopefully, that's my hope for you. This episode is Imposter Syndrome. Today we have Raffael Ponce-Valencia. Raffael has lived a full life in many different countries, speaks multiple languages, and has extreme ups and downs as an actor. And outside of acting, you can hear his voice work on the Boss Baby animated series and Hansel and Gretel. And you can see him on the upcoming series Phoenix. I wanted to have him on because he was fantastic during Self-Tape May this year, 2024. And I just loved his work and I loved his creativity. And then he emailed me and said that he had booked a series after participating in Self-Tape May in the middle of the pandemic. And I was like, oh my God, come and tell us all about it. So we discussed how focusing on an artistic pursuit and ignoring the business side of life led him to being homeless, unhoused, how he was able to turn things around and book leading roles in multiple TV shows, and how he deals with ADHD, time management, and imposter syndrome. OMG, good news, the Review Baby is eating well again. The Review Baby is being fed by the delicious reviews of Killer, Hill M, Pablo, Ars, Faria, Jufras, and Fancy Pod. Thanks, Fancy Pod. That one was so much easier. Thank you for your reviews. I hope you guys are just fucking with me, honestly. They help the podcast and they make me feel like this is true. I have this weird fantasy about being dead. And then all these people come to my funeral. And then my mom finally is like, oh my God, my daughter was so impactful and it's just so beautiful. And in death, I receive the affirmation that I've been longing of her deep approval and love. And that's how I feel when you send me reviews like I'm dead, but get to see my mom's approval anyway. So thank you so much. Take 20 seconds. It just takes 20 seconds, you guys. RateThisPodcast.com/Audrey. That's RateThisPodcast.com/Audrey so I can dream a little bit less about my own funeral. This week's podcast is brought to you by Casting Networks. Go to castingnetworks.com/Audrey and use the promo code AudreyCN for $65 off a premium annual membership. All right, I hope you're on your way to an audition, and I hope you book it!
Audrey helps actors because they don't know anything.
Hi, everybody. I'm Audrey Moore with the Audrey Helps Actors podcast, and today we have...
Raffael Ponce-Valencia.
Hi, Raphael.
Hello.
So good to see you.
Likewise.
Yay.
Likewise. And not on the picket lines.
Thank God.
Yeah.
So I wanted to have you on. You know, it's so funny. I was already kind of looking through Self-Tape May and hunting for some people that I thought would bring something to the podcast that I want more of, right? And you have such an incredible life experience, and your tapes were so fantastic.
Thank you.
I had such a blast watching
I had
them.
so much fun this year.
You could tell.
Everyone killed it.
Didn't they?
Everyone. I was like watching. I'm like,
just a really good time, and it feels like everyone, just something about maybe the theme of transformation allowed everyone to just be like, I like to play around.
Fuck it.
That's all I want to do. I just want to play around.
Yeah.
So that was really great. And you really took the challenge in that sense, took the bull by the horns and just went for it. And that was such a blast to watch. And I also met you several times on the picket lines.
Yes.
So thank you so much for showing up and being such a wonderful presence.
Thank you for all that you do.
You're welcome.
It's inspiring.
Thank you.
Of course.
I am honored to be able to join everyone in any of these picket lines or any of the gatherings that we do. I really believe so much in the community and that we are a community-based art form.
So as an actor, when you start to see all your actor friends kind of fall away or just kind of do their life thing.
That's right.
It can feel isolating. And so having something like this and seeing everybody being encouraging and supporting each other, it really does. It helps a lot, I think. It does something for your confidence, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, that's such a big reason why I have managed to make it free is because I want it to be free of sell.
And thank goodness for that.
I mean, thank fucking goodness for that. I'm
Free
so
is
tired
good.
of being sold to.
That is as an actor again. Free is
Free is right on.
Yes.
What I love about the community and the challenge in and of itself is it allows all of us, I think, to be inspired by each other without having to put some price tag on it and drive to some class, which is all great.
Yeah.
But it's also cool because I feel like you get to cheer on people that you would never meet in your own circle. And for me, I have a particular casting category. So even if I were seeing people on sets or in auditions or callbacks, things like that commercially, it's so much of the same people.
Right.
And so much of what I love is I'm like, oh,
Diversity.
right, you, Raffael, you exist.
Yes.
And I'm like so excited about that.
Yeah, I would never see a lot of these because a lot of the times I go out, I'm usually for commercials. For commercials, it's always Hispanic this, Hispanic that, Hispanic this. Sometimes the ethnically ambiguous thing.
Sure.
And sometimes something that's like a little out there, and I'm like, I don't think I should be here.
That's funny. So I always ask for people, what is your landscape? Are you union? Are you repped? What kind of reps do you have? Do you audition? What kinds of things do you audition for? How often are you auditioning? And that's like currently. So what does that look like? Oh my God, he's got his sheet.
Yeah, I've got a sheet. I listen to the podcast.
Boom,
I'm just going to take a second to enjoy this.
I love it.
Because this is I've listened to the podcast like multiple times.
Yeah.
Like I used to Uber and podcast. I used
Amazing.
to do this and podcast. And then the whole time I'm like, what the fuck is this towel? What the fuck? What? I'm never gonna fucking figure it out. Anyway, all right, so I am repped. I'm union, SAG-AFTRA since 2016. I have a commercial and VO agent. She has been my agent since 2015.
Commercial and VO?
Commercial and VO.
Right.
Yeah.
Who is it?
Marcy at Artistic Talent. So
Right.
I went to a conservatory and we had a showcase at the end of the conservatory and she was there. And so were a couple others, but she signed me. And then immediately following, I booked a series regular on an animated series.
Yes.
It never aired, but I got my eligibility through that.
Right.
Very lucky. This year, she sent me out for 60 auditions.
Right. On
This year.
voiceover and commercial?
Just voiceover and commercials. Yeah, mostly voiceover, a lot of them commercial as well. So I've done a lot of dubbing, I've actually gotten a lot of voiceover work. So
Tell everybody how many languages you speak.
I'm trilingual, so I speak English, Spanish, and French fluently. I grew up speaking Spanish with my parents who are from Mexico. So hablo español, English with my brothers, and in school, and television, because television was another one of my parents, and film, obviously. And then French.
So then what happened was you posted about this really fantastic thing that happened to you where you had done Self-Tape May a few years ago. And from that, you had gotten some momentum and then felt like it contributed to your confidence and your audition skills, which landed you a series which shot in
2020.
And in
during COVID.
I know, so great. And tell me a little bit about your experience with that. It's coming out soon.
June 23rd.
June 23rd.
June 23rd, yeah.
How exciting. And where can they find it?
That's undisclosed at this moment.
Great.
But it's going to be on a streaming platform. So
Great.
That's all. That's
I'm
all I can
thrilled
say.
for you.
Yeah.
And tell everyone a little bit about how you felt that practicing the work helped to prepare you in this, what was a dark time, right?
Yes.
To be ready. Had you practiced a lot of self-tapes beforehand, before that challenge?
Not as practice, no. Only whenever I'd get auditions. And that is kind of grueling type of practice because there's a lot riding on it. There's a lot at stake.
That's
so
right.
It can be not fun.
Yeah, harder to play.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You don't feel as free.
Right.
So in 2020, which was my first year of Self-Tape May, I had done my 16 tapes. And then shortly after I had this audition in October, I had just signed with my theatrical agency, by the way. So I'm SAG-AFTRA since 2016.
Great.
Phoenix is the name of the show. It is like an espionage, sci-fi, thriller, adventure. I can't say too much about it. It's so hard. I don't know what I can and can't disclose. My imposter syndrome was rampant. I was freaking the fuck out.
Yeah.
Anyway, 2020, I did Self-Tape May, did the 16 tapes, and then I did this audition in October. And then maybe a couple days later to a week later, I got the call back. And all of the equipment that I had at that time, I had acquired slowly through listening through the podcast.
Right.
And then I had it for self-tape May, which at the time was just using like a curtain.
Sure.
Some stands
Yeah.
that I bought on Amazon for like
Yeah.
$20-$30.
Right.
And then I just clipped curtains to the back of it.
Yeah.
And the lighting was very, very simple at the time. Now it's a little more intricate. But I did the audition, did the callback, and then I did a Zoom, or the callback was a Zoom audition, or a Zoom callback. And I did some chemistry reads. And then the next day, they offered me the role. And I was thoroughly freaking out at that point.
Well, that's crazy. How long did you film for?
We shot a couple months, 2 or 3 months.
Great.
And then we did some pickups in 2021. And then we did like a little series of interviews in 2022, I think, or something like that. And so I had complete faith.
So often people who do self-tape May get momentum right afterwards because I think they just feel, I don't know, more confident. And, casting directors watch. Directors, I know for a fact that when people are looking for talent, they do go on to the hashtag self-tape May and they look at people.
It's a free database.
Sure is.
Sure is. And they can even scout before.
Exactly.
Just to be prepped.
And
I
just
would.
see, right?
I would, as a casting director, I'd be like, okay.
Like who's interesting, who's exciting that you maybe don't even need yet, but like write their name down and have them, because casting directors, agents, directors, writers, producers, everyone loves to break someone, right?
Yes, yeah.
And so if you find someone that you feel like is a gem, but just hasn't had enough clicks yet in terms of access, then I do. I mean, that is literally what I do. That's why I'm like, hey, come on the podcast. This is because I become fans of people and then I want to extrovert you to the world so everyone can see what I have seen, which is just how fantastic you are.
It's a great word, extrovert.
Extrovert. I love the extrovert.
A lot of us are not.
Well, yeah, we should talk about that because you are such an artist. If you guys go and listen to any of his stuff or watch any of his things or read your bio, go on your website, it is so great.
Well, you went on my website.
I go on I do all of his, like
Research,
I'm a professional.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that I loved, I kept telling Jesse, I was like, man, fuck this guy. I want to be this guy. And he was like, I was like, don't you want to like speak 3 languages fluently, go meet your wife in France and then go live with her family in Spain and then like come back and do acting and play the guitar all the time?
Almost didn't come back.
I believe
we were broke.
Yeah, of course.
Broke as fuck.
Yeah.
Money's out here.
Yeah.
I was couch hopping. I was technically homeless.
I would love to talk about that.
Yeah.
So, we just had Alfonso's episode and we talked about homelessness. And one of the people, through good intention, was talking about homelessness on his video that we had posted about it. And they said that they had never met an actor that was a homeless actor on the street. And I clarified that there are a lot of definitions of homelessness. And houseless, that just literally, you don't have to be on the street sleeping under a blanket or making a tent to qualify as homeless. Homeless just means you don't have a home. And during the strikes, I met so many people who were living in their cars, who were going from their car to maybe a couch for a while to then back to their cars, living on the good graces of friends or distant family members, things like that. And, living in some version of a camper that they managed to scramble together with something. And I think people don't understand the realities of that, and also how common I think it is in Los Angeles, and especially amongst the actor community.
Especially with these prices.
I mean, the prices plus the pay.
Yeah.
Right? The pay out has lowered, and the cost of entry has risen so significantly. And I think that's part of why everyone's so angry. And also, I think it's why I had this like revelation as I was like sitting thinking about all of it. And how I was the person that was like, no, let's talk about business. Let's talk about the business. Starting pretty early, I was like, why does no one talk about the business, right? And then I realized, I was like, oh, this is a late realization, everyone. I always thought the reason nobody talked about the business was because the business model used to work, right? That maybe you did just need to be really good. And if you were really good, then that was it. Then it would work, right? And so that was just sort of the delusional thought that I had believed really up until about 2 days ago. And then I was like, oh no, they don't talk about the business, because the people who get into the position to then pass on information and education and knowledge have come to the discovery that it's not a great business decision. But then the thing that they are qualified to do is still related to this business. So they want to share their information about the work, but they don't want to talk about the business part because it would be bad for sales. And I knew that, but there was something about really sitting in it and understanding that, oh, I think maybe just being really good was never the thing. It was always a part of it. And the resistance to talking about the business has always been, I think, deeply intentional, because not only is it not talked about, but it's like trashy to talk about it. It's like if you're in a studio, you're in an acting class, you talk about the business side. For as long as I was studying anywhere, it was like, ew. Oh, we don't.
Any other career, they would definitely talk
business
about
first.
Business.
Market. Location, right? And the number of actors that even step one with location waste 4 or 5 years of their lives. And I don't want to say waste, but don't properly invest their business in the proper location for what they do, is really a large number. And that's really heartbreaking to me, and predatory is what I would say.
There's so many things that could be said.
Tell me.
I think everyone who's in this industry knows how, at what extent that can, so.
But was there a time in which it became clearer for you? Like, was there an age or an event or an experience for you where you started to realize how prevalent that was?
Maybe, I don't know. I feel like the magic of cinema always kind of like glittered my eyes a bit. Like it just kind of like, ooh, it's a very difficult topic. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Why?
Not for me personally, but I mean, just like the business side is this amoeba.
Yeah.
Like it's always.
I so agree.
It's always evolving. It's always changing.
It's like a moving target.
So, like even if you try to figure it out,
it's moved.
It's moved. It's something else now. It's if what's popular now is like I've been seeing a lot of Latin actors now, and which is awesome.
Awesome.
And ethnic actors, which is fucking awesome. We need more of, and we need more female projects. And we need more diversity, and being able to see that Latin actors aren't just drug dealers and gang members.
So now, when you're thinking about the experience and revelations, because I think it's a consistent revelation of the business side versus the artistic side. How do you, as someone who is so clearly an artist's soul, how do you keep your passion and heart in it while also putting some focus and momentum on things that will financially move you forward? Or do you not, and you just let things unfold?
ADHD.
Ditto.
During COVID, I read a lot. A lot. I have like maybe 197 books at home, and they're all different kinds of books, like on science and astronomy. I have a table of elements above my desk. I keep myself entertained
Okay, great.
with things that I don't know anything about.
Great.
And I'm not going to claim that I know them. It's just like a little tidbit, right?
And how does that then like inform?
That I don't know anything. And
Oh, great.
And it makes me feel a little better.
A little more
that I don't-
humble?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then my wife was pushing me for a while because I used to be really proud. I think part of me still is, obviously, because I feel like, we don't really shed that off.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
the human
Sure.
ego. I didn't want to work because my pride wouldn't let me. I wanted to be an actor,
An
make
artist.
money as an actor,
Yeah.
and just do that and be seen as just an actor. But I was struggling. I wouldn't eat a lot. I would, So I was borderline anemic for a while. I was so essentially my wife pushed me. She made me understand, like, yeah, we can't do this.
We're not doing this
Yeah,
anymore.
you can't do this.
Yeah, good.
You need to work. You need
Yeah.
to do something. And
Yeah.
get out of the house because you're here too much.
Yeah.
I'd be like,
Yeah.
like a hermit, like at home,
right,
just like
yeah.
doing things.
Yeah, being a mole.
Yeah, like no humans,
Yeah.
And then I got a job as a waiter.
Yeah.
About two and a half years ago, and I feel like the refocus of not constantly focusing on my art has made it more enjoyable whenever I do it. So but because I'm doing other things, when I come back to my time and my things and
To
what
the
I want
work.
to do, it's a little easier to focus and like hyper focus on this thing now that I've spent some of my brain juices otherwhere.
And how do you feel in terms of the ego of that if you think about continuing the future going forward? What are your expectations, or do you have any in terms of a continuing need, maybe sometimes more, sometimes not at all, sometimes going back to having an additional stream of income? Because you already have multiple streams of income. You are already a commercial voiceover theatrical actor.
Sounds cool when you say it.
Well, you're very cool. I hate to tell you. You are. You're very fucking cool.
Murphy's Law. Okay. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. So you prep for when it will go wrong.
Ditto.
So that when it goes wrong, you have
You're ready.
plan B, right?
Yep.
You have a contingency plan. Contingency plans.
Yes.
The other one is hope for the best, expect the worst, right?
My dad's, can I tell you my dad's?
Yeah.
Hope for the best, expect the worst, plan for both.
Oh, there's okay. Yes. Yeah. Okay. That was like, for me, it's like instinctual, like I've been running on nerve and instinct for so long that I'm, like I said earlier, I'm like just Tom Cruise constantly running. And my imaginary audience is just watching me run everywhere.
Shit.
Which is why I'm like, I don't want to be late anymore. 'Cause I'm just constantly running.
But that's
Just
also a
always
symptom
running.
of ADHD because
Yeah.
your time management
No,
isn't comprehensive.
non-existent.
You're
Yeah.
like so focused. You're like, yeah, and then I'll do that, and then I'll do that, and do that, and I'll do that. And then you're like, why? Why is this all a disaster? Jesse says when I leave the house, my comprehensive understanding of time leaves. Because I'll like leave the house and I'm like, I'm going to go do this thing. It's going to take me 45 minutes. She's like, see ya in 3 hours every time. So he just follows me on Apple. I'll find my iPhone and it's like, oh, she's here and she's there.
My wife Leticia, she calls me before I go to work, and she's like, "You're still at the house?" Yeah, I'm leaving now. Don't worry. And then I'm
running like Tom Cruise. I love the Tom Cruise run.
Yeah, I'm
It's very
always
good.
running.
It's
Always
really
running.
good.
I have a whiteboard in my apartment, and I'll write everything for the day down. And then at some point, for whatever fucking reason, I don't know why this fucking happens. ADHD.
Yeah.
I'll be like, oh, that song's cool, and I'll sit down,
that's
and
very
for
common.
3 hours, I'll just be doing musical things, and then I'm like, what the fuck, man? No, not again.
But also that's what makes you so creative. And it's a trade-off. I mean, your ability to create the self-tape worlds that you created is a direct reflection of your ability to lose yourself within the creative process. And a lot of people can't do that. That takes some learning. And it feels like for you, you're like, once you get an idea, and then you get more ideas, and then you get more ideas, and then you're just going to put it in, and then it's like, do this. And I could see you being like, also, and we could do, and then I could do here, and we could go there. And here's the other thing about that. I've always had this they'll have these moments where I'll feel really embarrassed maybe after a day on set because I'll just be a little too actory, I feel like. And Jesse will remind me, he'll say like, as a person in production, our expectations of actors is that you're crazy. That's our just general, you're going to come and you're going to be crazy. So if you can be anything less than crazy, then we are here for you. And I was like, oh, well, that's nice, because I definitely wasn't crazy. And he's like, yeah, no, nobody thinks that what you guys do is normal, healthy, okay. You're coming to be other people and you're doing it all the time. The fact that you're going to pursue it is crazy.
For us, it's normal.
Right. And just to reframe it, all of those things that make you feel like blah, 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 are also the gems that make you so great at what you do. And like, that's why so many successful artists have a team of handlers.
Oh my goodness, that sounds so nice.
Doesn't that sound great?
That sounds amazing.
They have a team of handlers who are like, hi,
I need a handler.
Raphael, good morning. Here's your coffee, just so you know. Okay, so we've got to answer these things, and then we're going to go here, and then you're going to get nap time between 11 and 1, and then we're going to go blah, 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 and you're going to do this, and then they're going to do your hair. And if you are having a meltdown, it's like, well, yeah, you're going to have a meltdown because people have meltdowns. And so it's not like you're not going to have a meltdown, but your handler's job is to navigate the meltdown, get the meltdown to not show up on social media, get the meltdown to calm down, de-escalate, and then move the meltdown into inspiration and go back into being an artist.
Yes. Yeah, it's such a fine line. Very fine line.
Right, it is, right?
Yeah.
But wait, Raphael, wait. I have to interrupt you.
Help me. I need some help.
And now it's time for listener questions.
I'm so scared.
This listener question is brought to you by Casting Networks. Casting Networks is where more professional roles are booked than any other casting service. Also, they have this incredible thing for finding reps. Everyone's always looking for reps. Right now, people are really searching for reps. A lot of people have been dropped. A lot of people are like, where are the agents at? So you can connect with agents and managers through Talent Scout. I highly recommend it, Talent Scout. You put your stuff up there. People who are seeking and looking for actors, they go on Talent Scout and they look for you. They get like a notification of there are X amount of new postings on Talent Scout. And then they look at your stuff and then they contact you and say, hey, would you like to have a meeting? You can also track your submissions with Role Tracker, and oh God, it's so satisfying to know what the fuck happened to your role, right? All right. Offering $65 off a premium annual membership. Use the code AudreyCN when you check out. Instructions on how to redeem the offer can be found at castingnetworks.com/Audrey. Go to castingnetworks.com/Audrey. Use promo code AudreyCN. That's AudreyCN for Casting Networks, not AudreyCN for Creative Nuance. Though I like both very much. For $65 off a premium annual membership. Call us with your questions at 667-228-6770. That's 667-ACTOR-70.
Hi, Audrey. My name's Jake. I am a second act actor, currently in phase 1. I've been listening to your podcast for about the last 6 months or so. I've been only acting student films, community theater, that type of stuff for the last year, but I'm really ready to dive headfirst into this. Anyways, right now I'm still doing my career job, and I'm hemming and hawing about giving it up so that I can pursue full time. And the logical side of my brain is telling me, wait until I'm further into it, and then the other side is just like, I just want out, and I really want to just be able to focus on this full time. I make good money right now. I make about 6 figures, and I have just maybe $75,000 saved up. And you can blur that out if you'd like. Anyways, with that being said, I can go and move to LA and live and whatever and focus on acting for at least a year off of that. No work, just focused on that. Again, I don't know if it's the smartest thing. Can you just, talk me off the ledge or give me your thoughts? I'm based in Connecticut. I typically drive down to New York. Ultimately, I'm thinking I would move to LA within the next year. So any advice is truly appreciated. Thank you so much for all you do. How's it going?
Oh my goodness, I'm so glad that you called. Please don't quit your job and come out here. I know that you're excited. I'm excited that you're excited. What I would like to offer you, instead of an impulsive sort of light switch, like I'm gonna just say no to this life, and then I'm gonna go all in on this other life. I would like to offer you a different option. This is for everyone who is looking for a light switch change or growth in their life, in any part of their life. I would like to offer you a concept of slow and comfortable transition. One of the things that happens with pursuing your dreams is that it can feel very exciting. Like the dream of it is so intoxicating and delicious. And what that does is it makes you feel like, I'm just gonna like go all in. I'm just like gonna do it. And I'm okay with that if you're okay with coming out here for a year and spending that money, and then that's sort of it. And then you've spent that money, and perhaps you have an agent that has gotten you a couple of non-union commercials. That's often what happens in the first year of your life. Also, if you already have a career, something that I want you to know, I love second act actors, but as I've said on the podcast before, one of the things you have to understand if you're a second act actor is that you are competing with, it's not about age, it's about relationship building. So you are competing with people who've been here who have those relationships built. Now, the good news is getting into those like first smaller roles, that's maybe going to not be as challenging because the people that are in your category have already done those roles and are no longer accepting those auditions. But that doesn't mean you can make a living. I would love to offer you, I'm going to put it in the show notes, please listen to Miyata Idoga's episode where we talk about making a living in Los Angeles as an actor. I would love for you to listen to that. It's a fantastic episode that just talks about the realities of booking and working a lot and then still what finances you have left over. So please don't quit your job. In fact, I kind of really would love for you to email me because I'm concerned for you. And I just want you to know that it feels a little like you met a new hot partner and you want to like go run away with them. And you haven't discovered yet that that super hot partner is kind of cray-cray. And so you may discover that that cray-cray partner is just like really expensive and intoxicating, but maybe not the choice to turn your life upside down for. I'm just going to give that as an idea. And also maybe we just like date that person in the way that is possible for a while before we give up our life and move across the country for this new hot person. Okay. I hope that's helpful.
And now back to your regularly scheduled program.
Yeah.
So for Self-Tape May, I already started for next year.
Oh my God, I love. Can I tell you the theme for next year, but you can't tell anyone? Pinkies?
I don't know if I want to know.
It's really going to be fun.
I'm going to be ready already, and I don't think it's... sure, yes, okay.
It's going to be really funny. I'm going to love it. Okay,
sure.
I just want to do...
Oh, fuck yeah! Yeah, but... I already did black, but I'll do something else.
We'll
Yeah.
do...
Yeah.
Okay,
oh,
great.
man.
Oh,
Awesome.
we're going to do...
Fuck yes.
Okay, great.
Yes.
That's what I
Awesome.
know. Don't tell anyone pinkies.
I won't. I am on NDAs for Phoenix.
Listen, I believe you.
I am on NDAs for some other stuff. I have not said anything.
Listen, you do voiceover. You're on a
Okay.
shit ton of NDAs.
Yeah. I honestly used to be a bit frustrated because a lot of the things that I was doing weren't on camera. And to me, it didn't feel like progress doing the same thing. But then Leticia was like, you need to stop. There are people who are not working. There are people who are like, I'm like,
I see what you're saying.
you are totally right. 1,000% correct. I need to appreciate your wins.
Because it was voiceover? Is that what you're saying?
Because
like so much of your acting
Because it's
was...
uncredited, I think. Because like a lot of the dubbing stuff. So I've done 10 projects in dubbing. So I've done 10 projects in the last 2 or 3 years.
Great.
2 of them as a lead. So I dubbed a Spanish show called Nacho. I was the lead for that. So I was in every episode, narration, all the VOs, all the fun stuff.
great.
Yeah, a bunch of other ones as a series regular, and then a bunch of other ones filling in like 6 to 8 voices for this.
Now, let me ask you this question, because you had this feeling of, what is it called, where you feel like a fake?
Imposter syndrome.
Because you have this imposter syndrome, right? I would like to just give you some previous past references of times gone by and ask you what you thought. So if there was a performer who had done theater but hadn't done movies as much, like maybe did a movie, are they less of a performer?
No.
Now, if you had a performer who had done television but hadn't really kicked it into film, are they less of a performer?
Fuck no. I know before they were seen differently.
That's what I'm saying to you. You look now at people who were television performers that were gatekeeped out of film, perhaps, and you're like, no. Okay, if someone books a national commercial campaign,
my friend David.
Great. Love. I'm so happy for you, David. And doesn't have as much luck booking plays, are they less of a performer?
No, not at all. Not at all.
If someone's on Saturday Night Live, but then they never get to do dramatic work ever, are they less of a performer? If someone gets to be a famous actor because their parents were actors, but they started working really hard when they were like 7 years old, and then they became working actors themselves, are they less of an actor?
I mean, your parents not acting for you.
They're not less of an actor. You're not
all.
less of an actor. But I want you to know, if you were to marry somebody who gave you access to roles and auditions and things like that, and through that access, your work was able to be extroverted, your favorite word, and catered to in a more specific way, right? Are you less of an actor? Are you more or less of an actor than the actor who's booking 4 commercials a year? No. And I want you to know, every single one of those people, who I'm friends with all of them, all feel a sense of imposter syndrome.
Right.
But all of them are performers. And the fact that the dubbing,
which I love, by the way, they're fucking awesome. I have so much fun.
And it's a huge skill.
They're so fucking fun.
Like, people don't understand. Dubbing
Very hard.
is
It's tricky.
it's a really fucking hard skill. And just because people, it's like somebody with maybe a lack of understanding about Shakespeare, right? Well, I mean, don't get me started. Somebody who maybe doesn't have a taste for Shakespeare, doesn't have the appreciation for it yet, but then goes and learns about it and does the work and sees it and then grows. It's like, oh, well, now that I have a little bit more of an understanding of what that is that you do, oh my goodness, I have such an appreciation for what the art form is. It's just that dubbing happens to be one of those art forms that's in a booth, in a booth, in a booth, in a booth, and nobody is really seeing the work that's going into it, and that's kind of the point of it.
Unless it's Money Heist or something like that.
For sure. Well, there's plenty of
translations.
Well, that's part of the marketing machine of it, right? Is showing the behind the scenes, the work in the work.
Yeah.
So you're not less of an actor because so far your skills have happened to get you work in this department.
I've been getting work, and I am blessed and fortunate. And very lucky, and in no way disparaging any of these projects, because I don't
think that you are.
Oh my God, so fun.
Yeah.
So I did the 10 dubbings.
Great.
I've done 5 animated series. Boss Baby, Ridley Jones, a bunch of really
that.
fun,
Loved your
really
Boss
fun
Baby.
TV shows.
So fun.
Audiobooks, commercials, musical performances, soccer or football.
Here's the thing is you're booking all of these things, and though you have a series now under your belt.
Yeah, exactly.
Though you don't yet have the momentum and recognition as a television or film actor the same way that you do in these other arenas, I just want you to know that does not mean that is in any way permanent. Because I spent for the first 10 years doing just so much theater coming out of my eyes. And then I did tons of commercials. And then now I do a ton of television. And then as television has had its cut in half collapse over the last year and a half, I am still doing commercials. And now I am a podcast host. And I told Jesse, I was like, the fact that I'm like literally an actor, a podcast host, and a social media influencer.
It's a lot of things to handle.
But it's also so silly. Like in my head, this isn't the picture that I would have for that person.
I mean, I don't think of faces when I think of podcasts.
Oh, that's true. But I don't feel like less of an actor. In fact, I feel like this. Oh, come for me. I fucking dare you.
Yeah. I wouldn't be as grateful. I might be more disdainful, more spiteful and unhappy if it weren't for Leticia, if it weren't for my wife, who makes me feel like a person.
Good.
And brings humility and just like exudes it. Like a lot of people feel like she's such a warm person.
Love that.
She does. She won't say anything, and you'll be like,
I feel like I'm being hugged right now.
Yeah. So I've taken to heart that you can't have what you disdain.
So you can't have that which you begrudge.
Exactly. That's the one. That's the one. I paraphrase a lot of things.
No, it's great.
There's also another one that I don't know if I'm paraphrasing, but it's from Joseph Conrad's Heart of Darkness. Your strength is just an accident arising from the weakness of others. Yeah. And you can take it any way. It sounds kind of pessimistic.
But that's real.
In the sense of
if you're neglected as a child, then you learn independence.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people live in the neglect and in the pain, but that's only because they felt strong because they made you feel weak.
That's right.
And if you take your power, take your power back. Yeah, right. And we feel like in the industry, like there are people with power that if they just saw me, they would. Then I would just shoot. I would just fucking shooting star out of here. But I feel like if you realize that they have nothing without you, because we are the power, we give them the power. We are what makes them powerful. Then you take that back and you feel a little more at ease.
You are valuable.
Comforted.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so social media, where can people find you, follow you, tell everybody all of the great things?
Instagram, Rafa POV, which stands for Ponce-Valencia.
So tell everybody how to spell it.
Raffa, it's two F's, RAFFA POV. And then the self-tape Instagram handle is Rafa POV _STM for self-tape me. And I forgot I didn't mention the library agency who's my theatrical.
Yes. Great.
So they're awesome too. They're getting me some great things.
Great things.
Great
Good.
things.
Do you have any questions for me?
If you were to live without persecution in any era, where and when would you live? I was going to say in humanity, but I don't think it needs to be in humanity. You can be a fucking dinosaur if you want to be.
No, I mean, I really love modern medicine, so I'm here for the now.
That's what I was thinking.
I'm even scared to leave Los Angeles because I really love our medical care here. And, I have friends that live in other states. One of my friends has Crohn's. And has to get a shot every month to manage the Crohn's. And there is one person in the whole state in which he lives that is certified to be able to do the shot. And the insurance doesn't want him to go to an actual hospital because that costs them more. And so then sometimes the shot's late because snow happens and the person is like trapped. And so I think that as many things are scary right now, that I'm here for the expansion that is coming, even though I know that there are parts of the expansion that are unknown and seem very scary.
Very.
I love the leading edge. One of the most satisfying experiences in my life is seeing something, watching something, listening to something, going to a museum, going to anything. And it's something I've never seen before. And I just think that is so thrilling. And the idea that somebody, even like animation, I think about the fact that somebody was like, you know what, let's take pictures and turn them to movies. And that was a new art form. That's amazing.
I grew up on cartoons.
Of course, yeah. Like photography didn't exist. And then suddenly photography existed. And I just think that's really cool. Now we have 3D printers, and there's things with 3D printers that are scary, but there's a lot of things with 3D printers
They're doing a lot of things in like underprivileged countries.
Yeah, even art.
Developed places.
Like the things that 3D printers can do within art to create concepts and ideas that are in our head but have a hard time coming to fruition with the tools that we currently have. I'm here for it because, worst case scenario, the world ends, I'm dead, and it's fine. Yeah. Here we are.
It's going to keep ending or not ending.
Or not ending. We'll find out. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm tired of us all sacrificing our health on like a multi-dimensional level, our financial health, our physical health, our mental health, our spiritual health, our relationship health, all of those things for some chasing of everyone else's panic, like trying to solve everyone else's panic, as opposed to we're going to do great work. And I'm not going to be an asshole about it, but like we're going to do great work. Okay, so last question before you pick a plushie. Is there anything that I can help you with?
Just tell me what the fuck the towel is.
No, I will never. You have to guess. I will never.
I thought I had it so many times.
Nope.
So many times. I'm still in the dark.
Very few people have guessed right. Very few.
Yeah, and it's frustrating. It's very frustrating. Yeah.
Okay, great. Now I'm going to count to 20.
I prepped for this.
You already know which one?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Oh my God, you already know?
So because my wife is a big fan of plushies, right?
Great.
And I did not want to disappoint her by grabbing something that would please me.
Sure, of course.
So I told her about the plushie thing, and she was like, "Oh my God, I can't get something fluffy." And I was like, "Look, I saw 3 that I'm a fan of that I think would be awesome, and these are the 3." And then she's like, "What?" I'm like, "What about this one?" I'm like, "Oh, I like this one." Or I let her choose.
Okay, great.
And then she chose the correct one.
Great.
And it's the octopus.
Yes. This one, right?
Yes.
The fact that nobody's taken the octopus.
I know. It's in the shot. I'm like, oh,
okay,
there's
we'll
an
grab
octopus.
the octopus, and then I want you to experience the magic of the octopus because I believe the octopus is multidimensional. Go for it. Now I want you to see that the octopus goes inside out.
Oh, really?
Believe it's a dual. Is it? Wait, you have to sit down so that we can see you on camera.
Okay.
Okay, great.
That's awesome.
So it's a dual octopus.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's winking at you. And then let's do the other side so everyone can see.
That is so cool.
And then since you've done some puppetry, let me see your best puppetry.
Well, let's give it a little twirl.
Yo, it's so good.
Because it's got these lovely appendages.
They're so great, aren't they?
Pretty.
I'm so thrilled. Okay, do you have a name for the?
I will leave that for Leticia.
Okay, great.
I will have my head name.
Sure.
I'm gonna
okay.
name it something.
Yes.
She's gonna say it something else. So.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Awesome.
I want something with an H maybe.
Yes.
Herbert.
Oh, I was going to say Hector.
Hector. Yeah. Hector's cool. I like Hector.
Is good, right? I like Hector. You could have a different name for the inside and the outside. And so she could do one name and you could do the other.
Yes. Alternate
That's what
identities.
I'm saying.
Yeah. Jekyll and Hyde.
That's right. I like it.
Or something.
You said or something. Okay,
and warmers as well. It's awesome.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. It's fucking awesome.
Fucking congratulations on your show. I can't wait for you to tell us where to
June
see
23rd,
it. June
Phoenix.
23rd.
Yeah,
I think this will probably be
awesome.
out by then, so that'll be really great. And I will see you both online and at meetups and in person. And I am really glad that the community gets to have you as a part of it.
I am so thrilled and grateful to be a part of it because I know that I could easily not be. I could easily still be a starving anything. I don't know. Anything. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand.
So I'm just happy to be anywhere with great people.
Yeah, ditto. Very good. Next week on Audrey Helps Actors, Nick Bogner. Nick is an incredible therapist. You guys know I love have therapists on. We're going to talk about the industry and therapy. Special thanks to Raffael. I adore you. You're fantastic. This episode was mixed and mastered by Thomas Snodgrass. He loves to surf. Hang 10, buddy. Hang that 10. It was produced by my incredible producer / husband, Jesse Lumen. Still so handsome. What is wrong with you? What happened? Why? It is not fair. It's appreciated. I appreciate it. Like I appreciate it. But also why? This episode was edited by Anisha Adusumilli. Anisha, I love you. Show music by Ari De Niro. Theme song by Aalok Mehta and 108 Hill. Don't forget your towel! Thanks to Casting Networks so much for sponsoring this episode and this season. So I really want everyone to just know about the Talent Scout. Everyone is always like, how do I get an agent? How do I get a manager? What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And I want you to know that what is really great about the Casting Network's actual page, like when you are a premium annual member, is that you can link all of these skill sets. You can link footage to each individual credit. You can also have a master reel if you'd like. You can have all the headshots on there. And I think what that does is help a rep see the full package of what you have to offer. So I love when people like Raffael speak multiple languages, and then you can have some audio or video of you speaking fluently in that language so that somebody who is looking to represent perhaps somebody who has a lot of special skills to offer that they think they can do something with can look at that and hear it and see that, yes, you do have the evidence that will help them help you get auditions and book jobs. So if that is something that you are looking for an agent, I highly recommend it. Talent Scout on Casting Networks. The best part is $65 off. Go to castingnetworks.com/Audrey, castingnetworks.com/Audrey, and use promo code AudreyCN for $65 off a premium annual membership. Audrey CN for Casting Networks, not Audrey CN for crafting nightmares. Sometimes crafting nightmares happen. It's sad for all of us. Liz Ho, you know what I'm talking about. All right. Have a fantastic week. Book it. I want you to book it.